the bottom of it with your host, Joshua Moriarty.
Hey, welcome back to the bottom of it, episode 59. Wow, it's been a while. When was the last one? Episode 58. I can't even see it. I think it was just before all of this crazy, I'm not sure if you're aware, there's this thing called, I think it's COVID. There's this weird flu that's going around. It seems to be causing some problems. If you Google it online, you may be able to, something will probably come up and you'll be able to find out about it, but it's making things quite difficult for everybody. Not sure if you're aware. Fuck, I never need to hear that word ever again. Tired of it. But hey, what are you going to do? Think that the New World Order is taking over? Sure, you could think that. You could think it's just a crazy flu, bad flu. Yeah, no matter what you think, it doesn't make you any difference. So just get on with it. Do your best, everybody. That's my advice. What's news in this Melbourne lockdown? Playing lots of piano, making music with my Telenova bandmates, more solo stuff, keeping as busy as I can, trying to get some big muscles, home workout, prison style, lots of push-ups. We'll see how that goes. I feel like I just end up putting my neck or my back out, but hey, doing my best. So today's episode is with one of my favorite buds of all time. It's bass player Aaron Tokona from New Zealand band Weta. I've been close with Toks or Tookie. Toks or Tookie, that no one really calls him Clint or Clinton. It's been 20 years now. We first met back in 2000 when Weta were promoting their debut and only record, Geographica. I was still in high school at the time, and I thought that him and the other Weta boys were just so cool. They had all the rock and roll swagger and all the attitude and all the vibes down. They were just everything that I wanted to be. I was 16. I was tired of high school. I knew I wanted to play music, rock and roll. I didn't want to continue doing this bullshit, I don't know, maths classes and things that I was doing. I was just ready to get into that rock and roll life, and seeing them play from the side of the stage. And this show just really gave me a kick up the ass. It was such a huge inspiration. Yeah, I think I would have been 16. Tooks would have been probably 22. I think he's 6 years older than me. And then about 6 months after that show, I met him at the iconic Wellington bar, Matterhorn. If you're from Wellington in New Zealand, you've probably heard of Matterhorn. And by then, it was 6 months later, and Weta had broken up. They basically put their debut record out, and then within a few months, the whole thing was just over. So I remember him and I got chatting. I was pretty stoked to see him and be talking to him at the bar. He was very affable and friendly, as he always is, that night, and we got talking, and then he started mentoring my band at the time, my first band. And not long after that, him and I and his younger brother Tuma Tokona had a funk trio together, and we were trying to make a little money around Wellington, playing jams and doing music. Over the years, Toks and I have played in a bunch of projects together. He's a killer bass player. He's always got a bass line. They just sort of hump out of him as soon as the bass is on. He starts to move and it just flows out so easily. It's such a pleasure to watch and to jam with him. It's such a natural. Earlier this year, Clint Took's his older brother, Aaron Tokona, who's the lead vocalist for Weta, passed away. So the guys in Weta have decided to do a 20th anniversary remaster of their record, which will also coincide with a new single. So we had a good old catch-up. I actually hadn't seen Tooks since Aaron's death because Melbourne's been in this strict lockdown. It was lovely to catch up. We always have such a blast. It cracks me up. It's always sort of just a game with each other, so to sort of see who can get the big belly laugh out of the other person. Tooks has taught me so much about music growing up. He showed me new ways to listen to things. He's a real sort of mentor for me when I was younger. He would point out guitar parts and vocal lines and just ways to hear music that I'd never really thought of. It's something that's really stayed with me. And he's such a huge influence on my bass playing too. We loved Weta. They weren't only our favorite New Zealand band, but they were just one of our favorite bands. I thrashed Geographica, their record. It just got something really special about it. And Aaron and Gabba and the boys, they were really on something. So just before we get into it, a quick roll call so you know who we're talking about during the episode. The band members are Gabriel Atkinson, aka Gabba, Clinton Danhaya, aka Bolly, and then there's Aaron Tokona and Clint or Tooks. as well. I feel like all those names are going to get mentioned, and if I didn't say who was who, it may get a little confusing. So yes, anyway, without further rambling, sorry, that was a big preamble. That was Mark Maron style. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, episode 59 with Clinton Tokona from Weta. Enjoy.
Do it again. 1 2 1 2. That's our Broadway sounds. Check. Mic check.
Say it again.
2 2.
No, do what's the sound?
2 2. Do it again. 1 2 1 2.
Is that one of his songs?
Yeah, it was called Do It Again.
No. Have you seen Andrew in a while? When was the last time?
ADP.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I think the last time I was here at your house, mate.
Yeah, for the party or something.
Yeah.
Is he still? What's he?
He's looking good.
Yeah.
What?
Has he been? What does he do?
He's boxing now.
He's boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
I think the old shadow boxing whilst I was in his band kind of.
Do you think you had a firm
Yeah, a bit
influence
of
on?
yeah. Well, he's going to the same gym.
Really?
Yeah, but this side of town as opposed to south side.
Fuck, I just don't know if I can get into boxing.
Mate, you can do it. Come on, mate.
It was just stressed me out when I went with you.
Yeah, it's a bit. Well, I
pretty
really
intense.
did put you in the deep end, though.
I like looking at the lady's
unfortunately.
bum in front of us. That was one of the great memories.
I don't do that.
No, you shouldn't. That was
intense, though.
Pretty
That was
intense. I couldn't walk for days afterwards.
Mate, that was Dave's class as well. He's the CrossFit guy. So we were doing a very hard CrossFit circuit for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Poor thing. And that was the second session that we
we did it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it? 7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
Mm.
What, every single day boxing?
It eventually became 5 to 6 days a week.
Why?
Because I love it, mate.
Yeah,
I
okay.
love it.
But
And
why that?
At the start, it was similar to playing bass.
Yeah.
You know, I relate it similar to learning music for the first time because you're absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, you're absolute rubbish, but you have that desire to want to become better, good. You know.
I don't have that desire for anything anymore because I'm rubbish at it, so I just stop.
Don't lie, mate.
I don't know. What was the last new thing that I learned as a grown-up? I don't think it's been anything. So I'm impressed that you actually were... But you must have really...
Nah, it's what is it? It's I don't know. It's you want to be better than the next person, really. I mean,
I'm like that with music.
Physically, I mean, we're talking about sports.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you asked me to write an email, I wouldn't have a clue. So, do you write an email? Nah. You do it, Dick. You want to go for a jog? Yep. Let's go for a jog instead.
That's funny. But who took you boxing then? Who?
Sipping good coffee, eh?
Yeah, that coffee's alright, isn't
Sipping
it?
good coffee. That was a bacon foot song.
I stopped drinking it because my brain's been fried, but I figure for the interview, it helps to get a little bit of chat juice going.
Yeah, better than a Becky or something, you know. Bit of caffeine instead of MDMA.
When did you get your Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt that you're wearing today?
When?
Yeah.
Last year, bro.
That fly's annoying.
Where are we? Where was it from? What store was it at? One of those Kmart stores.
They just have a Chili Peppers shirt at the Kmart store?
Kmart stores. Had a chili pepper one and a Smashing Pumpkin one and a Pink Floyd one. I wanted the Pink Floyd one, but it was a shit design, so I went for the peppers instead.
Sweet. How's the Flea book? You know your band's made it if they're selling your t-shirt at Kmart.
Oh my gosh.
You wanted the Chili Peppers one. Bullshit, you were going for Pink Floyd. Don't try and sell that to me.
I was looking for all the colours, but they weren't there.
Fuck off. No way.
Oh my gosh.
Are the Peppers your favourite band then?
Nah, mate.
But Flea's your favourite bass player.
The Flea's, it's Flea. It's not the Peppers. It's Flea as a bass player. He's amazing. He just got me turned on, you know, at such a young age. I was I don't know, 15 when Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out, or 16.
So you didn't listen to anything before that?
I did. I was before that. I was
Did you
The
listen?
first bass player who I learned to imitate was a friend of Aaron set me down. He goes, I need a bass player for this song because they had this recording set up in the room, and they were on at me the whole time for a good 2 years to play the bass. You got to play the bass, mate. You got to play the bass. Play the bass. You got to play the bass. You got to play the bass. And I was busy playing rugby. You know, fuck your bass, bro. Give me a ball any day. You know. But I caved one day because I was feeling the vibes, and Aaron and I always shared a room. It was Aaron and I in one room, and it was my sister and my little brother Tuma, Mabel and Tuma in another room, and that's just how it was through the start of time.
Yeah.
Until we would turn 16, 17, 18, we all moved out. Aaron and I always shared a room. Anyway, so the room that we shared always had fucking cords, microphones, CD players, guitars, equipment. Every time I stepped out of bed, I stepped on a blooming tambourine, or it was had to kick the guitar out the way on the floor to get through to the chords, and then try and dodge the mic stand to get out the door.
Yep.
So it's almost so much shit there, and that was my whole upbringing. And one of his friends, Thomas Tataiti, he's still around as well, a very, very good musician. He set me down after trying to persuade me to play the bass for 2 years, set me down. And he goes, you have to, okay, I need you to play this note, which was just an open E, to a Marcus Miller song.
Which one's
Marcus Miller is a...
I know the name.
Is a jazz bassist from the... around the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, black guy.
Yeah. American.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was one of his compositions, and they were trying to remake it in the bedroom with all the equipment, and I had to play the bass line, which was just an open E note on the 1 and 3, and that was it. But the tricky thing about it was actually having to play that note perfectly with the kick.
Yep.
And he spent at least about an hour and a half going, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. And it was just a doom, ga, doom, ga, doom, ga. And my part was ga, doom, ga, doom, ga, doom. And I did that for at least hour and a half to 2 hours. And then after that night, I was
wow.
I was hooked. I was like, I've got it, because it was so, I found it so challenging that I couldn't get something so simple right the first 5-10 minutes.
That's actually
and he taught me that very time. Sorry to interrupt. He taught me at that moment how to listen to the kick drum and to play a simple bass note to the kick drum perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's the essence of a bass player. Just
wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toks.
And that was my first experience, And then since from then, thanks to Marcus Miller, and since from then, I went on to Lewis Johnson, who's another American 70s bass player who played for he was the bassist for Off the Wall, for Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. Yep. Lewis Johnson. He became known as a slap bassist, and he was probably one of the main studio musicians in the music industry in America at the time. So very, very good. And Lewis Johnson and Stanley Clarke as well, who's another American bassist.
I don't really I know all of these names as the guys that people talk about, but I'm not.
So there were 3 African American guys.
Yep.
That first got me going before, and also.
But your favorite bass player is white, though. We've discussed this.
Yeah, and then eventually it came to a white dude, an Aussie guy who became an American dude, Flea.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's his real name again?
Michael Bolzori.
Bolzori, that's right.
Born in Melbourne, but moved to LA when they moved when he was about 3.
Have you met him?
Gabba.
The old Gabba
said I did.
Gabba from Weta. Everybody.
Yeah, from Weta. Said that I did at a big day out once, but I was really drunk and I can't remember. He said I shook his hand. I mean, bullshit, don't lie.
Really?
I couldn't remember.
But you can't remember?
Yeah, I couldn't remember. It was one of those classic.
I mean,
Tookie
I've seen you
moments.
pretty drunk at a big day out. It was like the next one 15 years ago with all the colours.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let's go bananas.
Doing the whirlpool.
Yeah, but I don't think that story is true. I think he's having me on. Because if I had met Flea, I would have remembered, mate, seriously.
Yeah, because then everyone also would have gone like, Tooks, you met Flea, remember? And they would have
Exactly.
cemented it into your brain for the evening at least.
It was a similar. I would have likened it to a similar experience to when I actually do remember, obviously, meeting for the first time Neil Finn. Mm-hmm. You know, I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it.
When was that?
That was, I think, 99, the year 99, 2000, and we were opening for Silverchair.
Yeah.
And his son's band Betcha Duper played before us.
So good.
Yeah, I think it was Betcha Duper played. It was on the viaduct or something. You know, it was on a stage. It was on water. So it was Betcha Duper that was. I think that played first. I think so. It's so long ago. And then the Datsuns.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, the Datsuns.
That lines
Because
up.
I remember hanging out with the singer. He was a dude.
Dolph.
He was just,
Dolph Datsun.
Yeah, he was
cool, that guy,
He
right?
was really at that. Well, that was the one and only. I think we had a couple experiences after that, but I remember that experience well because we just hung out all night drinking. You know,
They were red hot at that point as well.
and I was thinking, wow, this guy's keeping up. That's so cool because people would just usually move on to drugs or or go to sleep. But I was crazy, man. I could drink all nights back then. You know, before the big day out recently. I loved it. He was a dude, and then we played, and then it was Silverchair. So it was that show, and that was the same show that Ruben Sutherland, who's a video maker, director, creative person. I don't know what you call those guys anymore. He's just a real brilliant guy. Recorded Got the Jew, and that's where they got the Jew video footage is from.
Ah, yeah, I was watching that the other day.
Yeah.
That's the old version of the song. Never did a re-up.
No.
Yeah, because it's for the like EP version, isn't it?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Neil Finn was backstage then, and then he came into our dressing room after the show, and I saw him walk back and forth past our door, and I was thinking, why is he? That's probably about the fifth time I've seen him go past looking in. So I planted myself near the door.
Yeah.
You know, to see if he would walk past again, and he did, and I caught his eye, and I said, "Hey, mate, do you, hey, do you want to come in? I don't know why I'm shaking. Hello, sir. Would you like a water?" I actually said that. I was a fumbling, mumbling.
You would have been
mess.
little.
Yeah,
How old were you? 20? 19?
21.
21?
Yeah, 21.
That's young.
Yeah, and I was so ecstatic, and you know, I had the vodka courage too, but it wasn't full way, so I think it was 2 shots in. So you had that courage to go, you know, the courage to go to open your mouth, you know, and to talk to such one of your heroes, you know. And then he walked in, and as soon as he walked in, everybody, the room was packed, as you would imagine, after a show, and you had all these people there from the record company and photographers and roadies and girls. I don't know who the girls were. They weren't my girls, tell you that much.
Cute girls? Cute girls?
I can't remember. Like, yeah, they were.
Yeah,
Not
they
that I
were
was walking.
real fucking
anyway, so
hot.
there was all these people there. There's a lot of cigarette smoke, a lot of weed smoke going on. Cocaine wasn't prevalent at the time, and then we were leaning up against the wall, and as soon as he actually accepted my invitation to come into the door, I gave him a water, and we leaned up on the wall as 2 flies in the background. Aaron just straight away comes in all the way from Australia. I just see him sprint from the other side of the room. He plants himself in front of me so Neil couldn't see me, you know, and he was just talking the whole time. We had the best chat with Neil Finn. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
I've never met him.
He's lovely. So back then, I remember that memory was such a lovely memory. Yeah. You've never met him?
Nah.
I find that hard to believe, mate.
I've seen him. I feel like I've been in a room that he may have been in, maybe. Yeah. But no, I've never had a proper chat. That's great.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest of all time. He's like
so if I had met Flea, I would have remembered that, mate.
Yeah, I reckon you would have.
Good one, Gabba.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that Crowded House book that I've been going through recently, learning all. Their bass player is amazing, Nick Seymour. Have you ever paid attention to his bass lines?
He reminds me similar style to Adam Clayton.
Okay, from U2.
U2, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's just that pattern that doesn't really change very much, you know.
But Nick Seymour's doing lots of weird stuff. He puts like sixes on the top of things, and then he's always putting the fifth underneath. Weird.
As in double notes, or
no, like instead of playing the root note of the chord, he'll play the fifth underneath the chord, and then we'll sit there while the chord changes back to it, and then he's playing like just lots of. He's never just sitting like playing the tonic note,
but playing the correct notes.
Yeah,
he's related to that particular chord. As opposed to just making it up.
Yeah, he's doing weird stuff, and it makes the songs move. And
he always seemed to look like the most arty one.
Yeah,
you know.
I just kind of assumed that maybe he was gonna. I hadn't never paid attention, but since I've been playing bass the last however many years.
Is that a bass book? Is that a bass book there?
Nah, it's just the chord book.
Guitar chord book or piano, whatever.
Yeah, guitar chord, piano chord. Yeah, it's not got the. Actually, I think that's got stuff written out in sheet music, but I can't read sheet music. Can you?
At school. But very simple.
When was that again?
Way back in the day. I remember being in the jazz. Were you ever in the jazz band at school, man?
Yeah,
jazz band, man.
I was in the jazz band, man.
Yeah, so you had to read basic notation, right?
Yeah, sort of.
Or was it different at a rich school? Oh, shit.
Oh, dude. You got me.
No, we had computers, bro.
We didn't even really have computers. Or maybe we did. They were shit. My rich school wasn't that much better than any other school.
Sorry, man. I was just being facetious a little bit.
I'll take it. You got to burn me.
But no, you would have chord sheets, right? As opposed to
you read the chord sheets, but never like had to learn the dots. It was just always
the notation of it.
Yeah, my theory is pretty good. With
Aaron, I remember Aaron was similar as well, seeing the chord sheets that he had for jazz bands and stuff like that too.
But what did he do? Like he's quite.
What were you going to say before?
Can't remember. Doesn't matter. Chords. I can read chords. Neil Finn. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, Neil Finn.
Tim's brother.
Yeah, he did. As did all those,
but he's a nerdy guitar player, right?
Absolute geek.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute geek.
Was he doing Van Halen and shit like that?
Those whole, I don't even know what a pentatonic. Was it just Panesium chord or pyramid chord?
So,
what the guitar players, mate?
Yeah, okay. So 4 strings is plenty for you. You just make it up as you go along.
He total nerd. He is a total nerd.
You must have inherited a little bit of nerdage from him, though, or not really. So
as usual, he took it to the net level. You know, he took most things to the
absolute
upper realms of the universe. Yeah, so he read all those things. He's an absolute geek.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. He was doing Eruption.
Yeah, I remember you saying
The Flight of the Bumblebee, Surfing with the Alien. It was that different generation.
Yeah,
it was slowly coming out of the 80s.
Yeah, true.
Steve Vai, Passion and Warfare.
Oh, that guitar playing is horrible, when you listen to it now.
As I said, it's that generation. It was coming out of the 80s.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't. What were you getting into back then?
Well,
I mean, not back then, but I mean at similar age.
I was 7 by the end of the 80s.
But when you were about 12.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit and shit.
Yeah, so
dodgy stuff.
Yeah.
Still dodgy though. Yeah, definitely.
And also, I mean, it's hard playing that shit. You know, I liken it to you're either kind of a songy chord person, or you love playing all those notes real fast.
Yeah, but then see, Weta's not fast guitar playing music at all. There's hardly any of that. That must have like all been gone by the time.
You just learn everything about music, really. You don't, you know.
But I find that interesting that if Aaron's a sort of super shredder,
Massive shredder.
yeah, but then on that Weta record, there's not even one shred.
But you're talking about when he was about between the ages of 12 and 15.
Okay,
You know?
yeah, sure.
So
I didn't start playing till I was 14 though, so I would have been doing the super shredding.
I remember he was barely out of nappies, and he was asking all the uncles to how do you tune a guitar.
Right.
You know, he was probably 7.
Right. Okay.
And he was. I remember there was this one moment at a party because we're from, you know, Tauranga and from a big Māori family, and so there were always weekend parties, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, a big family, and you would just walk down the road and you'll go to your cousin's house or to your uncle's house, and that was the environment. And there were parties often, weekend parties often. I remember Aaron constantly he had a guitar in his hand, running to every uncle. How do you tune this? And the uncle was too drunk, and he'd go to the other uncle. How do you tune this? And wouldn't no answer. Okay, go to the other uncle. How do you tune this? And I just remember him doing that until someone goes, "Oh, you do it like this," and then sussed it. You know, it's so funny. Such a lovely memory.
When did you guys start playing as Weta then?
I was in 7th form, or what's that, year 13?
Year 12.
12.
Year 13's for the dumb kid who has to go back again.
Oh, really? I think it's different in New Zealand.
Year 12's equivalent to 7th form, yeah. I've managed to finally, after living here for 20 years, nearly convert most things from Australia into Kiwi.
Oh, really?
Most things I've nearly got covered. There's a few tiny holes, but I've nearly lived here as long as I lived in New Zealand.
That's strange,
Because I moved
right?
here when I was 20. I'm 37, so 3 more years, and it's been equal parts Kiwi to Aussie.
So what, are you going to become citizen? Or
I can't be bothered.
I mean, you'd only do that maybe to buy land, right?
Yeah, there's just not really any benefit. I think if you study here, it helps you. But anyway, no, hang on, what were we talking about?
Yeah, we get sidetracked quite often. It's because we know each other so well. Hey, we've had some really deep conversations back in the day.
It's been 20 years that I've known you. I realized that this year because I met you when your record came out. Backstage at the Pepsi Smokefree Rockquest.
Let's not remember that, right? Let's be dismissive of that fact.
And you guys were loose. You guys were so loose. So for the listener, we did the school band competition.
Oh, here we go.
It would have been, that was when I was year 11, I guess, or 16 or something. And then while they're adjudicating, picking who's going to win, Weta played what you're supposed to do, like 20 minutes or something. But you guys just kept going, and they were trying to tell you to stop, but you just wouldn't stop. I remember it was like a hoo-ha. They told us, they're like, you got to run on the stage, everybody, to stop them playing. Like, we're not fucking running on the stage.
I remember they gave look, such a long time ago. I remember we played 3 songs.
You played more than that.
Well, I remember there were 3 songs on the set list.
Yeah, maybe you played 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, because I remember on the side of the stage, all you kids were going, hurry up, guys.
Nah, I was feeling it. Me and Phil.
I mean, I'm talking about all the participants of that show.
Yeah.
When we were on stage, all of a sudden I saw all the kids come up onto the side of the stage, and some people who were near me were rolling eyes. Oh, hurry up! And I felt so bad, but then I didn't really care. I didn't mean to be belligerent, but
it didn't matter. It really did not matter.
Yeah, that was a strange time though. But yeah, we had that experience, didn't we, Bo?
Yeah, that was fun. I think I remember me and Phil just being really quite blown away by it. Because we'd also been, like I was talking about, into new metal and stuff. And then to see just like a rock band, I guess. You guys just had a whole nother thing. And yeah, I didn't want you to finish. We were laughing it up. Because we just met you earlier that night. But yeah, you guys were loose. You were on it. Your band was tight as fuck, but you guys were loose.
That was what year would that have been? 99?
Yeah, or 2000. I reckon it's probably the same year your record came out.
That's right. We were going nuts.
It seemed like it.
Yeah, we were going nuts. We basically that's would be some of the reason why you saw these obnoxious fellows being that way. It was because we had been on the road for 2 years straight without a proper break, and that would have been some of the result. And I remember being there. It was part of the promo, I think it was.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And that was Aaron likened it as a dichotomy. Whereas from the outside it looked successful, but on the inside it was about to implode. I remember Aaron saying that quite often, and I went, "What does that word mean, bro?" But after so many years, I do now. And that's that. To get through it was just drink more.
I've been there.
To get through those times, and it was the result of the environment that we were in, which was you're 22 in a rock band. You're signed to Warner Brothers. They're giving you all this money. You're constantly on the road, and you're around drugs and alcohol the majority of the time, which are free, but you can't afford food. It really was it back then.
Yeah.
Back all those years back then, it was such a long. It's not like that these days, obviously. But
it's changed now.
Yeah, it changed 10 years ago. It changed 15 years ago.
Yeah,
but that's how it was back then.
What drugs are we talking?
Cocaine.
Cocaine.
What was prevalent more back then was
speed.
MDMA.
Oh, MDMA.
Yeah.
Speed as well.
Not for me. No, not so much.
Because when we moved to Melbourne, everyone was doing heaps of speed. It was gross. But maybe not. Yeah, MDMA, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of.
Also, though, if you're 22, and you're in a band signed to a major label and there's booze and alcohol, just take it and do it.
It was the environment. You're in a pub most of the times or whatsoever.
Yeah,
and you're young, right? And you're always around drug dealers.
Yeah.
We had a very good friend in Melbourne who became part of the crew. His name's Rusty, and he was able to get shit all the time. And it was, but then it was quite hard to buy food, because you're broke.
Yeah,
it's quite bizarre.
But that,
and I wonder if that actually exists these days for young kids. I'm not too sure.
Jeez, I have no idea. Yeah,
do they still have riders?
It's all the same. I think it's just that people, depending on the style of band that you are now, there's a lot more people taking it a little more seriously because they're on Instagram and they're you have to be the master of your own destiny a lot more now when you're starting a band or a project. You can't just leave it to the label, which I guess you guys were doing. They took care of all of the business side. Your management took care of where you were going to be. And so all you had to do was turn up and play and then just do what you're told, really. But now, if you're a young artist, you're running your own... You're like your own manager. You're your own publicist sometimes. You're like... There's so much shit that you have to do that you can't really afford to be just getting wasted all the time. So I think that's what's changed. Because the industry is just not the same. There's not the money to support bands like that anymore. They don't just sign you to 5 album deals or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Aaron always related it to back then. That was the last golden era of the music industry.
Pretty much.
You know,
that was like when
where they were able to give you money, a lot of money. You know.
Definitely. I mean, what was your deal? How many albums did they sign you for?
I never read the contract. I find it quite strange that the bass player is getting on a potty. But, you know, it's usually the singer or the drummer or the guitarist. It's very unusual.
It's an unusual potty. We like to keep, whoever's the friend.
No, I love it. We did... Bolly, Clinton Denhauer, Bolly took care of that side. He's the businessman, you know, so it was funny.
But you actually don't know?
Well, I did read it, but it's such a long time ago, man.
But
do you know how big that contract was?
But someone will tell you the basics of, like, did they sign you to a 3-album deal? Was it just for 1 record? 5 records? What happened when you...
I heard...
I'm asking the wrong guy.
dear, hey, headlights. So, no.
Well, that reminds me, because I remember...
What I do know is this, is that we came over, and the first thing we did, boys from Wellington, flew over to Sydney, went straight to our management. From management, we went straight to the Warner Brothers, Warner Music headquarters office there, right? And this happened so quickly. So we were hungover because we had a show the night before. This is when at an age where you can do those kinds of things and not feel bad too much forever. And so we had two shows at the Hole on the Wall back then. So we had one on a Thursday night, I think it was, and a Friday night, or Friday and Saturday night. No, it was a Thursday and a Friday night to raise funds and stuff like that. Got home probably about 3 and had to catch a flight at about 6 in the morning. Anyway, so I went from Wellington to Sydney, met up with Steve Betts, picked us up from the airport. Steve Betts is part of Aloha Management who signed us at the time. And then from there, he told us to go have a shower because we looked like shit. Took us to his place, you know. Freshened up a little bit, and he goes, "Look, you have to spruce up a little bit, boys. You're about to meet the big guns at the office." And it's like, "Yeah, cool, whatever." And then had an eggs Benedict, and I remember, I know I shouldn't be remembering these things, but I do. It's just the egg Benedict on that day was absolutely phenomenal and cheap. It was. I remember it being $12 when it was something like $16 back in Wellington. I was, oh man, Australia! Woohoo! And then from the cafe we went to Warner's Music, where Dan Hennessy was, and the CEO or the top guy for Warner's at the time. It was Mark Pope, but it was somebody different at that time. Can't remember. Anyway,
so Dan was the head of Warner, was he?
No, he was just an A&R guy at that time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he had just landed that position too.
Yeah, okay.
In '99,
and he was already managing Shehad.
Yes, Aloha Management were managing Shehad at that time too.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so it was Dan Hennessy and Steve Betts who were running Aloha Management, and then Dan Hennessy was hired by Warner's as an A&R management, in June '99. You know, and that's how we were able to secure a Warner's deal.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. We went there and then went up to the head office, all real flash. It's so flash, I couldn't believe it. It was just escalator, you know, and just doors opened and it was an office and all these people around and phones were ringing and they walked us through into the conference room and sat us down. It was like, what the fuck? This is sick. And then we met everybody, and then Dan Hennessy got the whole all the A&R people, the whole office, to take us to a lunch, in Sydney at that time, to introduce us to the whole team. I was so nervous. I'm an awkward guy anyway because I'm a massive introvert, you know. Yeah. Even more so when you're 22. So Aaron was my security blanket, you know, throughout this whole time.
He's not really an introvert.
Huh?
He's not really.
No,
in it.
I am.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. He's
No,
definitely.
he had two parts to himself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He had the showman person.
Yeah.
And then he also had the Aaron person.
Yeah.
And they were two completely different people.
I think I've
because
only
he really
seen-
did appreciate his alone time as
Yeah.
much as he also appreciated time with his friends too.
Yeah.
Whereas I really just like hanging by myself sometimes. I love to see my friends and things like that, but Aaron had more confidence in situations like that.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah. And then went to that dinner, to that lunch, sorry, and the menu came out and it was a leather binding menu, and I thought I had made it. I was used to satay kapong, piece of paper, plastic, whatever. It was crazy. What? This is great. And then the guy came out. Was it Mark Pope? I think it was Mark Pope who was head at the time. Anyway, so it was a Chinese restaurant, and the owner, it was so busy, I remember. And then the owner of the restaurant came out in a suit, a Chinese man, elderly fellow. And he went straight up to Mark Pope. He said, "Hello, how are you?" and talked a lot, and then said hello to the whole table. There were about 20 of us, and then as he left, he spat on his hand, and then shook Mark Pope's hand, or the head's hand as he left. I don't know. I found that so gangster at the time, and it was so quick. And the only other person who saw that was Gabba, I think it was. That's quite strange.
Is that like a business transaction deal, or he was just?
I'm not sure. He goes, okay, thank you very much, and spat on his hand and shook his hand.
Is that just what they do?
It's probably an old school thing.
Yeah,
back
I
then,
mean, you see it in the cowboy movies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Okay,
quite strange.
keep going anyway.
Yeah, and then did that lunch, and then lunch finished. Went back up to the office. They all had a meeting somewhere else, and we were left to do other things at the office. And then we had Polaroids taken, and then we had a mock-up signing photo with the head at the time, which was just a piece of paper with writing on it, pretended to be the contract with a pen, and the head had the pen, and then we had to be around them, and we all had to look at the camera and smile.
Oh right,
as a photo or proof that we signed the contract, And then we went back to Steve's house.
Your name was on the contract?
All names were, mate.
Yep, okay. So never read it, knew nothing about it.
I did read it. The reason being is because we got it before we left for Wellington, right? And so we had to sit down with a lawyer who Bolly organised.
We trust him.
And then we all had a meeting, and then the lawyer went through all the documents one by one in front of us before we even got to Sydney.
Sweet.
And then, but I can't remember what they were. You want a slide here, bro? Yeah, sweet. Affable fellow he was. I can't remember the lawyer's name. Anyway, so we left the Warner's music headquarters, went back to Steve's house after that, and then Dan came over and said, "Boys, you have a full contract." So it wasn't just a distribution contract; it was a full contract.
Right.
Yeah. There was no mention of it's a full contract for such and such records.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, Aaron and Den Hayar were always taken away from Gabba and I.
Right.
So there may have been talk. I know Aaron. They dragged Aaron away a few times behind closed doors.
Yep.
To talk to him before they made a decision to whether how much money they were going to spend on us. Mm-hmm. There's one story where he said that during that time, during that lunch that we had when we went back up to the office, the head grabbed him, took him into the office just one-on-one, sat him down. He goes, "Okay, this is what Aaron told me." He goes, "Okay, this is what's going to happen, right? We're going to make all your rock and roll dreams come true. We're going to offer you a full contract, and we're going to give your band so much money. Okay? Now, what you can do about that is there was this big Madonna poster behind him. He goes, you can thank her for that." Aaron, I remember Aaron telling me the story afterwards. He goes, "What a tosser." he always mentioned that story, hey? And And then I remember Aaron going, when he said, we're going to give your band all this money and we're going to make your rock and roll dreams come true. And you can thank this lady behind me for that. And Aaron went, what a dick.
Did you get lots of money?
I don't know, mate.
Well, did you or not? Did you end up with lots of money?
So it was a full contract. We ended up with an album.
Yeah, but did all of you get paid from the label or anything? They just paid for the record and everything.
There was a $20,000. Was it 20,000? I think it was 20,000. Sign on. What do you call it?
Advance or whatever.
Yeah, advance. Yeah.
And then you guys, so you all got a little bit of cash in your account from that?
Yeah, we were a little bit, but I mean, I didn't have to pay rent for 2 years.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you had to make that kind of thing last.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to going, cool, man, I'm going to go buy a new amp.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just funny he's giving all that about, you're going to give you lots of money. And I'm like, well, how much money did you give us, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's all this money that you talked about that we were going to get that Madonna's giving us?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they paid for an entire record. That record would not have been cheap.
Probably not.
Definitely not. How long were you in the studio? Month?
We were in the studio. It's all a long process, man. Absolute long process. So we were in the studio for pre-production for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Studio for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Then there was mastering.
Yeah.
And then there was vocals for I think a week whatsoever. But they were all different. So we had to fly people in from the UK.
Right.
To master. And we had to. There was a Pro Tools guy. There was a producer guy. Steve James. Who produced it? What's that? And then we had the assistant, Dave Double D Davis, assistant engineer.
Who's Dave Double D Davis?
So he was the in-house assistant engineer for Sing Sing.
I love those guys. I love the in-house assistant guy.
They're so good at ping pong. Hey, all those guys. Because that's all they do is play ping pong. That's part of their job. They go, hey, bro, can you work for an hour? Yeah, sweet. And they have to stay there for 8 hours, you know, and then all that dead time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, was that irrelevant?
No, it's true.
You know, so we had Dave Double D. It was mixed by Dave Best. All these people, man.
Yeah, well, it sounds really...
So that's pretty expensive.
Yeah. They didn't... Nothing was skimped out on, it sounds like, with that record.
No.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's like perfectly done, it still sounds really, really good. Did you listen to it recently? Of course you did. Not
the whole thing.
Why not the whole thing?
It's still quite challenging.
Oh, it makes you feel a bit funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I'm having to revisit it for I liken it to work things that we're doing with Weta at the moment. At the start, it was hard to hear Aaron's voice again, but I'm getting used to it. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes I listen to a song and all I can hear is oh shit, why has it happened? You know, but then other times I listen to some of the songs and I go. Not bad songwriting.
Yeah.
You know, but it depends on the day or how I feel at the moment. You know, it's sometimes all I hear is Aaron's vocals. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I actually hear the whole song. It's quite strange. It depends. I suppose it depends. It's similar to if you're in a good mood or a bad mood.
Yeah, totally.
You know, if you're happy or sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there will come a time. We've just remastered everything.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I can't wait to hear all that.
So what do they just pull it down on Spotify, chuck it back up again? Or now they'll just do the like...
no, for the LP, for the record. So they've had to remaster it. I don't know about the digital release yet.
Ask Bolly.
Well, it hasn't been announced, you know. So
you heard it here first. There's a new single? How does that work? Is it an old song? What's it called? So Close, So Far? You said something the other day on your Instagram. I can't remember what it said.
It's called So Far, So Close.
Okay.
Yeah, So Far, So Close.
So Close, So Far means the same thing, right?
Does it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's two statements.
But different meanings, though. There's different definitions of close and far.
Anyway, I just wanted to prove that I sort of knew what I was talking about. I haven't opened my notes. You got your
Straight away, I just went definition. Wikipedia? As opposed to what you were trying to say. Sorry, bro. I got you.
Where's that from? When's that from?
So close, so far, so far, so close. Yeah, it's the same, man.
It's the same, bro.
It's totally the same. Who cares, eh? Just so. I'd rather not talk about that song at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about the song at the moment. It's still a bit too fresh. It's
sure.
Too fresh. It's a song.
Cool. We'll hear it when it comes out. Are you annoyed that your band broke up?
Annoyed?
I mean, it doesn't matter now. It's 20 years later. But what? Because we became friends straight after that happened. Basically, you moved back to Wellington. The band was over, and then we started hanging out.
I just had yeah.
You were still like coming down off it. It seemed like you were still pretty crazy. I
was very much. It was similar to. Still used to the work environment. But the work wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, totally.
But your lifestyle, it's as if you're a shift worker, right? And then you start work at early hours of the morning, for so many years, and then all of a sudden you don't have to do that. You're still going to wake up at early in the hours in the morning, as we were talking about before. It's similar, but in this case, it was. What was the question?
Were you upset that it kind of ended and that it was so quick? and also, it's like you talk about we were tired because we'd been touring for 2 years, and we'll take a fucking break for 6 months and then get the band back together. It doesn't need to just implode and end. So many bands get these great opportunities and then fuck them up, and then that's the end of it. I'm just wondering why it needed to be so dramatic. Could it not have just been, okay, guys, we're imploding a little. Can we just take a little break?
Mate, for me personally, I like to stick to something for as long as I can.
Yeah.
That's just my makeup. If I have a job, I'm going to be there forever until you fire me.
Yep.
That's because I love routine.
Yeah, you've had the same jobs every time I've known
you
exactly.
For a really
long
what I mean?
time. Yeah.
I love routine, and if something's out of place, I'm a bit obsessive. I'm a bit, OCD. I fold my clothes a certain way, and if it's not folded that way, then I get a bit annoyed. And all these kinds of little things. I would have, I thought it was working. We had everything. We had everything going for us at the time.
Yeah.
As you just said.
Yeah, it was all there.
It was all there. And I was happy to. I was happy to keep going. Eventually, we would have time off, which is what we needed, and that would have solved a few problems, And in hindsight, I suppose it's something that we should have done, But when you're talking about mental illness, it wasn't as prevalent back then as it is now.
Yeah, so it was more Aaron's decision to pull the plug.
Well, he didn't realize that he had bipolar.
Yeah.
He didn't know at the time. It was still
I
quite
didn't
confusing.
even
It wasn't clinically diagnosed.
No, that wasn't even a thing 20 years ago, really.
Yeah.
Not like people talk about it now, for sure.
Yeah, so he was, he was going through a lot of things that he did not understand himself. And it was, you can't say to somebody who's bipolar, going through the motions and not medicated, hey, bro, let's take a year off. Yeah, it's all or nothing.
Did anyone...
It's such an incongruous environment at the time.
But did anyone consider that maybe he was undiagnosed of something? Did any of you question that? Or you were just like, Aaron's just the way he is. He's just a bit strange sometimes. Had anyone thought maybe he clinically needs to be diagnosed.
A lot of people did.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people did, but a lot of people did, but it's only so much you can help a person.
Yeah,
before they have to take lead and help themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought that for Aaron's at the time, for Aaron's health, I thought he needed to be out of that environment.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
He really did. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a fucking band.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's awesome. I'm always going to be a bass player.
Yeah.
You know, because of these experiences. But I'd rather health before anything really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you're also talking about the creative industry too. It's a bit different as opposed to trying to make money.
Yeah.
You know, if you were that way inclined and money focused, maybe that's kind of easier to, I don't know, achieve or easier to work toward because you're not so emotional, you know. But when you're talking about creative people, it just gets a bit too insular and emotional sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. That's quite common.
Yeah.
Yeah, like LCD Sound System doing their big final concert. Goodbye to the world, like Crowded House. And then like 4 or 5 years later, the band's back together.
Exactly.
Why do everyone need to be so emotional about it? Why did it have to be like such a big thing? Just like everyone just chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, creatives.
Yeah. So
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
But then there was no talk after a year or two of you guys getting back together again? No one sort of floated? I mean, you did the tour in 2007 or whatever for the homegrown thing.
Yeah, it was 2007, 2008, something like that.
Yeah, quite a few years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess, and you didn't really join any other bands or anything, did you? Like, I'm sure you could have. People must have asked you to play for them.
It was really hard. It was really hard to not be with Aaron.
Yep.
You know, it was...
There's a lot of people I know like that have a special person that they play with, and then if it's not with them, they're not really interested in playing music without that person. Yeah, I get it. Especially, that's so good. Yeah, especially from a young age, if you're that's the person who you've sort of grown up. Like Joe, when we did from Betcha Duper, who we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Because his first band was with Liam Finn and all those guys, and when their band broke up, he just didn't ever seem like he could be in another band the same again. It's like this love that you have for these people, and then once that band breaks up, you're like, well, I can't do it without them. A little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a really common thing that I see.
I think Aaron was he let me get away with a lot of things as a bass player.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he was the way we made songs was one of the ways were that we would jam and I would come up with a lot of the bass lines and then he would form chords over top of that.
Right.
You know, or sometimes he would come up, so it was or sometimes he would come up obviously with his own songs that he did a lot of the time as well, and I would play bass lines over the top of that. But it wasn't as if, you know, he would go, oh, what Tookie's playing there, these notes don't really fit the chord, but I'll change the chord. Mm-hmm. You know, and that was cool because it made me go, oh, this is he let me play exactly how I felt. Yep. You know, he sorry.
Nah, it's okay. You're allowed to get emotional. That's fine. Yeah, I guess other people aren't going to give you that.
Fucking hell, this is weird.
It's all right. I get it. Yeah, I don't reckon I changed the chord for you when we jammed.
No. But that was it. I would play bass lines. He let me do that.
Yeah.
You know, he let me do what I heard in my head.
Yeah.
You know, he'd just put a delay on it.
Yeah.
You know, on his guitar passes. You know, and that was the freedom I had as a bass player, and that would be something that I suppose siblings have, being in bands. there's that connection. There's that give and take.
I can't imagine that because none of my family play music. It seems so bizarre to me to even think of how that would work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. If that's
so, then afterwards, it was when I was in so many bands afterwards, and that wasn't the case, and I went, "Whoa, what's this?"
Yeah.
This cussy's saying, "Use a different bass line." I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to that, man.
Yeah.
I was just saying, "What do you mean use another bass line?" And that happened quite often. And it wasn't. I mean, there were a lot of drummers that I connect with, and there were a lot of other things that I connected with, but as having a main guitarist in another group and then questioning your instinct bass lines, it just threw me, and then I had to readapt. I had to listen to other people's like yourself. I remember feeling it. I remember you saying once, "What's that note, man? That's not in the chord that I'm playing." I said, "What chord are you playing?" And you said, "I'm playing B7/8 dichotomy." And I went, "Wow, what's that chord? I don't even know. Do you know major and minor chords, Barry?" But it wasn't just you; it was a lot of other people. You know? So I don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
And you're right. Also, it was more that for me.
Yeah,
it was more. It wasn't. Yeah, it was more having the freedom to play the way I wanted to play.
Yeah,
and that didn't really occur as seamlessly as it did with Aaron.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Not bad.
No, that totally makes sense. I get it. Yeah, because I guess we had the band with Gabba, just the three of us. No, and Damo from Motor Race. Ever heard of him, everybody? Damien Costin. What's he doing now?
He's a mean drummer, that guy.
He was good, wasn't he?
He is good.
Yeah. Yeah, he is good. He's still great. What did we do? We played...
Oh, sipping good coffee, eh?
Yeah, you sure are.
God damn.
How many gigs did we do
How's
together?
that sound when you're drinking coffee?
I might pour myself a little bit more in a cup.
Sorry, man, what were you saying?
I was talking about our band that never really existed. Me, you, Gabba, and Damo. That we did for like 2 years and played one gig a year. And then that was the end. We were called One, weren't we? Were we even called One? Did we even have a name?
It was One. It was Liar.
Liar.
It started off as the Hot Rods.
I wasn't part of it then.
And I went. Then they asked me to come over. I wasn't doing very much at the time.
Was it just Gabba and Damo then?
Yeah. Just I came over and I went, "Oh, can we change the name?" Oh no, the Hot Rods is good.
I remember I was pretty stoked to be in a band with you two. Definitely.
I was pretty stoked to be in a band with you,
Oh,
mate.
stop it, you.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, but we'd look...
When I first met you, I was... this is going elsewhere now, so about it. When I first met you, man, with 1QA, I remember with 1QA and then saw you guys... I think we met up at the Matterhorn, right?
Yeah, I met you at the Matterhorn.
Just the same way as everybody meets up back in Wellington back then was at the Matterhorn.
Yep.
Similar to Fat Freddy's Drop. They were born out of the Matterhorn.
Yep.
Yeah, I met you at the Matterhorn one time.
Yeah, because I asked you about something on the record. It's like, and what's the deal with that bass sound? Like, how did you guys do that bit? Well, then you just went, Pro Tools, bro.
Good answer, Tookie.
I'd never forgotten it. I was like, but what does that even mean? And you're like, just Pro Tools, bro.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true, Batman. It's so true. How did you... Pro Tools.
Pro Tools.
Double D.
What song do you never need to hear ever again?
Jesus. That's not the song, by the way.
I've got quite a few examples.
What? Like what?
They're in my phone. Hang on. Sorry, listener. Podcast. Yeah, okay. One more time, oh yeah, got to celebrate. Daft Punk. If I didn't hear that ever again, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
That's net level commercial.
Yeah, what about the other one by MGMT that goes wah, 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 wah.
Oh, great choice, man.
That song's shit.
Seriously. Every time I start hearing that, hey, it's just, wow.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, it could be.
Because, hey, no offense.
It can be.
Yeah.
No offense at all. It's
No.
just, this is the product of overplaying a
Yeah.
particular tune. I remember as a kid being anxious about a song, Flash by the Queen. When you're a little Lee.
Flash.
Defender of the universe.
So it would stress you out?
It was scary. Because there was a lot of...
It is kind of scary. I never thought...
stabby sounds. And it was just always kept you on edge. Yeah.
Did you find the music video for Thriller scary, or were you old enough that it wasn't scary then?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, okay.
Because it didn't look scary to me. Oh, well...
Just 6 years older than me.
I think Nightmare on Elm Street was scary.
Yeah, okay.
Was that after or before Thriller? Maybe after. I'm not too sure. May have been around the same time.
Because I was little when Thriller came out.
Were you scared?
Yeah, they put me to bed. I wasn't allowed to watch it. Or maybe I watched it and got real scared and then got put to bed. I'm pretty sure. But if I was 6 or something, you were 12. So yeah, you were fine. But I was still little.
Yeah. It depends if you watch a few horrors at the time,
Yeah, what were the other ones? That was super scary, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
Nightmare
was
on Elm
crazy.
Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I just remember Nightmare on Elm Street. That was at the time where it was quite an impressionable fellow. It was very scary. That burnt up person.
What were the other ones around then?
What was his name? Freddy
Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
I can't imagine he's particularly scary anymore.
I wonder if he's still alive.
You following all the politics of the world at the moment? COVID, pandemic?
Yeah, it's all crap, mate.
All crap, yeah, it's fucking hoax, isn't it? Conspiracy from the powers that be. Reptilian humanoids.
It's just tiresome, mate. Everybody's over it. Everybody is over it. We've been in lockdown for how long? 7 months?
I don't even know. Yeah, sure.
It's just, and then you hear cases going, oh yeah, there's heaps more, and you go, oh wow, so there goes restrictions. They're not going to be lifted again. It just seems though as if some Sundays every 2 weeks where they have announcements, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's just tiresome. Just over it. I just want the gyms to open, mate.
Yeah, that sucks, eh?
And everything else, but I love the gym, so.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when we were doing
It's just, mate, what do you do? It would be really, really nice to go somewhere out of your 5K radius and not have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Or not need the use of a permit, maybe. Or
do you believe in all the conspiracy theories? Do you follow any of that stuff? That the government's made it all up. They're using it.
Do you know what?
I don't think I believe them, but
look, mate,
maybe.
I find it a very barlungy thing. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's just, you see these. I don't mean to be like that, but I mean it. You can't change it yourself.
No,
you can't change it, mate. You can't. You can't turn into the government and go, okay, cool. This is what's going to happen. Let's all reopen or do whatever you want to do. You can't change it. You have to live with it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people had a protest. I didn't go.
You did, didn't you?
Nah, I didn't. I'm not. I don't think that the government's always out to get me. I'm not.
Look, each to their own, mate.
Yeah, totally.
Everyone has their own opinions, and it's a free world. And
Yeah.
if they choose to express themselves the way they do, it's similar to me writing a song. They can't stop me from writing a song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they choose to do that, then good for them. You know, if they achieve some sort of results, then even better. You know, but I mean, for me, I just get on with life and work.
I've been the same.
You know, you just work and get on with life, and you know, and it's really sad that some people pass away from this thing too. So
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Very unfortunate. Mm.
I don't.
What are your views?
I don't follow or read any of it.
You don't?
Nah, I get it all secondhand from everybody because everyone's talking about it. So it's not like I don't know what's going on. But I try not to read or watch too much because
Do you have your own conspiracies?
Nah, not really.
I didn't think you were.
I follow a few things on Instagram just to keep an eye on what the conspiracy theorists are saying because I find it fascinating.
In Australia or America?
I guess it's a global Instagram. They talk about.
Oh, it's a global account you're talking about?
Yeah, they talk about issues from different parts of the world, I suppose, what governments are doing. The one thing they showed Jacinda Ardern talking about how if you refused to test, you had to stay another 2 weeks or something. And I saw all these people like going like, did you see that flicker in her eye? She's definitely one of them, like part of the Illuminati. She's a reptilian humanoid. She's out to get people. I'm like, she's just some fucking chick from New Zealand who like people in Wellington have got stories about like, oh yeah, I remember I saw her vomit at the bar one time. And I'm like, yeah, we did spots with her actually. Like this, she's not part of the Illuminati. She's a chick from New Zealand. She's normal. It's just when you see
some of those people have such antiquated views.
Yes, you know? Really weird. They just think that everything is a conspiracy and everyone's out to get everyone all the time. Like,
yeah,
I don't believe.
I also think some people have a lot of time. I've been working. You know,
yeah, you stay up late, smoke pot, and watch YouTube.
Yeah, just I find it a luxury that these people, that I don't know. There's a lot of time. They have a lot of time to do these things, to research these things, and to do a lot of social posts. I don't have that time. No. I'm too busy trying to pay my rent, bro. So I'm going to go do another Instagram post. Oh, cool, because you can. You just got up at 12, huh?
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
You know, you're a conspiracy theorist who gets up at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Well, I'm up already working, mate.
That's what my friend Chris was telling. Yeah, he was saying Chris from Grizzly Bear. I was talking to him. Chris
from Grizzly Bear?
Yeah.
That band?
Yeah.
Fuck, that band's awesome.
Yeah, they're good, eh?
So good.
He's become a good buddy in the last few years.
Oh, yeah. Introduce us. Do they need a bass player?
Oh.
Joking. Sorry.
They'll definitely be quizzing what notes you're playing, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know, man. Those guys are flash dudes, eh?
They're flash. But he was saying, he was like, everyone that he knows that's quite wealthy or come from like pretty wealthy families, they're all the deep conspiracy theory sort of people.
Affluent backgrounds, hey?
Yeah, they have the time and the money to be able to investigate it, or I don't know.
Yeah, right.
There's something strange there.
Right. That would make sense because you would need quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
To investigate and research.
But maybe they're right. Maybe they're onto something.
Or maybe UFOs do exist. We can go on and on, Joshy. Cool. But no, you're right. I don't mean to be dismissive.
Nah, I got no idea. I don't.
Maybe they are right.
Yeah, it makes no difference, does it?
It does make no difference, mate. I mean, you still can't go out of your 5K radius, you know?
Yeah,
have
true.
your theory. Cool. Where you going to go, bro? Just down to the dairy or something? What?
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, you've got to fight the power, bro.
Yeah. Why you... Can't wait to see Rage Against the Machine once this shit's over.
Oh, man.
Bro.
King. Yeah.
I know oldies and stuff like that, but still pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know what Zach has to say about all this.
When are you playing again? Oh, is this part? Sorry.
whatever.
When are you playing again?
Never. I don't know when.
When?
Everything that Miami Horror was doing got pushed back.
Great band.
Oh, yeah.
No,
okay.
True. Great band.
Thank you. I'll take
You're
it.
welcome.
Sure. Why not? Yeah, everything just got pushed back, and then it got pushed back again, and then I don't know. I don't think even they pushed it back to April of next year, so that's our tour postponed a year. But I don't reckon it's going to happen. I don't reckon we'll be touring around Europe in April. No fucking way.
I would agree with you there too, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when anyone's going to be. I reckon it's not going to be till 2022 that everything will probably be happening again.
Probably. Yeah.
Weird.
Unless you move back to New Zealand.
Yeah. Phoenix Foundation are going on tour
What?
around New Zealand. You can tour around New Zealand.
Mate, how jealous are you?
I'm a little jealous.
So jealous.
Yeah.
It makes me think. All right, 2 weeks in ISO, and then live back home, and then But that's cool. Those guys are sick.
Yeah, new record that they got coming out.
They're so sick. I remember them. Are we still chatting?
I don't know.
I remember them back in Wally when they first formed. They were the cool kids,
Hey, how come Tuma didn't play drums in Weta?
He was too young.
Yeah, right.
And also it was Bolly and Az started the band.
Yeah.
But Tim is too cool for that stuff, mate.
This is Tooks' younger brother, by the way.
Yeah, he's way too cool. He's the best drummer, mate.
He's a great drummer, eh?
He's a great drummer. Just the good feel.
Yeah.
It's all about the feel with drumming.
I remember jamming with you too, and definitely being like, "Oh, keep up." To myself, just like,
"Oh, nah, mate, you held your own."
Yeah, sort of.
Definitely.
But there was some time when you guys like broke down, and I was like, "Oh, I don't quite know what to do."
Really?
Yeah, sort of. Because you guys are brothers, so you just like go somewhere musically, or like you just like something would happen. I'd be like, "I am the outsider here," and
nah, mate, I remember you just sticking there. You were right there, bro. And also Benj as well.
Oh yeah, true.
And he goes, "Oh, we're gonna do a chord change." After being on A for about an hour. Poor guy.
That was all we did, eh?
Nah, mate, you held your own.
Oh, thanks, buddy. That'll do. Yeah, that's plenty of chit chat.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, mate.
Oh, thank you, Tookie. I love that guy. He's one of my favorite people ever. 20 years we've been talking shit, cracking up like that. It's always a joy to get together and talk music with him. He's a very special person. Happy to have him in my life. Hoping we're going to have a jam together sometime soon. Haven't played with him in a while. That'd be great. If you haven't, check out their record, Geographica. It's available all the places online. The remaster will be up in the next month or two, as well as new single, So Far, So Close. I've also put a few links to some Weta stuff in the podcast description, as well as one of Aaron Tokona's performances from his other band, Ahori Buzz. All right, I think that will do us for episode 59. Thanks for joining me. Kind of going for a different approach to the podcast during lockdown. I know a lot of other people have started podcasts and people are doubling down and making 1 million episodes and talking to people over Zoom and all that. I can't really be bothered. I don't really want to do that. I like the in-person vibe that we've always had on the show. So I figure I'll just put them out once I can do that again. It's not about quantity here at the bottom of it. It's about quality, guys, okay? I want the guests I admire, and I don't want to compromise. So I won't. Doesn't matter. This is my podcast. I'm sure you'll keep listening. Don't want to just be forcing content onto you for the sake of it. So yes, that's what's happening anyway. Hopefully there'll be a new episode soon. Thank you very much for being here. Pleasure to do it. Pleasure to have Clint Tookie on the show, and more soon. Very good. Hope you're all safe. Take care. I don't know, wear a mask if you feel like it. Don't if you want. I got no fucking idea. Just try and be safe and be nice to each other, okay? That'll do. Bye-bye.